Welcome to Donmar TV News Channel.
Nag-number 2 sa Twitter trends sa Pilipinas ang hashtag na withdraw isko kahapon. Pagkatapos ito nang mag-anunsyo ng pagtakbo si Vice President Leni Robredo bilang Pangulo sa 2022 elections. Ipinananawagan ng mga netizen na umatras sa kanyang pagkandidato bilang Pangulo si Mayor Isko Moreno. Sa halip, dapat anila ay tumakbo na lang itong Vice Presidente katandem ni VP Robredo. Ayon sa political analyst na si Ramon Casiple, sakaling maging totoo, magiging malakas na tambalan ang Robredo Moreno.
Pandagdag sa boto na yun eh. Kung ano man yung boto ng inabot niya sa vice presidential race, madadagdagan ng ganong klaseng pagsama. No? Hindi siya yung agrabyado sa mga kombinasyon. Effect malamang sa kanya, madadagdagan yung boto niya.
Inaasahan din ni Casiple na sa pamamagitan ni Robredo ay makabuo ng kumpletong national candidates ang oposisyon. Samantala, naniniwala si Casiple na dihado si dating Senador Bongbong Marcos kay VP Leni lalo na kung walang malakas na katandem si Marcos. Bukod kasi anya sa tinalo na ni Robredo ang dating senador noong nakaraang 2016 sa vice presidential race, mas malawak din ang makinarya ni Robredo sa pamamagitan ng Liberal Party.
Ang problema ni Bongbong dyan, wala siyang ganong klaseng malakas na makinarya. Wala naman yung KBL na eh. Yung tinayo niyang partido, bagong partido na hindi natin alam kung ano yung lakas talaga. Sa tingin ko mahina yun kasi wala namang tinutuntungan na record yun. Para sa isang presidential campaign, hindi ka makakuha ng paninigurado na hindi mo alam yung lakas ng iyong partido.
Isa sa nakikita ni Casiple na magkakaroon ng magandang laban ay kung matuloy ang tambalang Duterte Marcos sa darating na eleksyon.
Sa ngayon ay wala pang presidential candidate ang PDP Laban o yung partido na kasalukuyang administrasyon mula sa loob ng partido at pinaubayan nila kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang pagpili ng suportahang presidential candidate. At ngayon ay natiling wait and see kung sino yung maaring susuportahan ng administrasyon na kandidato sa pagkapresidente. At yun nga ang abang natin within the day ngayong October 8 deadline ng paghain ng Certificate of Candidacy. Pero unang nagsabi si Senador Christopher Bongo na handa itong makatrabaho ang kansinong presidente sakaling manalo sa pagkapresidente o vice-presidente sa dating nahalalan. Ginawa ng senador ang pahayag sa balaki ng PDP Laban na magsuporta o mag-adapt ng presidential candidate na magpapatuloy ng mga legacy o nasimulang programa ni Pangulong Duterte. Kabilang sa nakapaghain na ng Certificate of Candidacy o COC sa pagkapangulo, sina Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno, dating Senador Bongbong Marcos, Senador Ping Lacson, Vice President Leni Robredo, habang hinintay pa nga ang anunsyo naman ni Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio. Ilan sa mga supporters ni Mayor Sara ay nagpapahiwatig na sa social media ng paghain ng COC ngayong araw sa pagtakbo bilang presidente at babawiin ang kanyang COC sa pagka-alkalde ng Davao City. Sinabi ni Senador Go, walang maging problema sa kanya kahit sino pa ang makatandem o manalong presidente dahil walang pili sa pagserbisyo sa tao. Ayon kay Go, kanyang respetuhin ang sino mang ihalala ng taong bayan. O ang tiniyak ng senadora na magiging working vice president kapag nahalal siya bilang vice-presidente at hindi siya maging spare tire o palamuti at reserba lamang. So within the day, Bombo Dennis, Bombo Ever, abang-abang tayo. Kung mag-take off, lilipad yung aeroplano na lulan itong si Mayor Sara Duterte para maghain dito sa Metro Manila ng kanyang COC bilang presidente o kandidato sa pagka-presidente. At yun, ang most likely ay sinasabi ng mga supporters na magiging running mate o katandem ni Senador Christopher Bongo, Bombo Dennis.
There, also just one more thing. There was an interview, sir, with another vice presidential aspirant, si Lito Atienza. At ang sabi po niya ito, dapat daw po mag-sorry kayo po, sa Pilipino on the abuses during your father's time. Kailangan daw ayusin na ang ating kasaysayan. So again, I will ask you, sir, will you apologize? This is something that's being asked by a segment of society, and even to some that might apology is not even enough.
No, there's a small group that an apology will not be enough. whatever happens, anything will not be enough. They will continue to peddle their hatred of the Marcos family. That's their business. There's nothing I can do about that. But again, this issue of an apology, if you can show me that I have committed some wrongdoing that hurt somebody else, I will go to them and apologize to them immediately. But what can I, how can you make an apology for some general accusation? Let's talk about specifics. What are the specifics that you were talking about? What are these wrongdoings that you want me to apologize for? I can only apologize for myself, but I'm willing to do that if I have done something wrong and that neglect or that wrongdoing has been damaging to somebody. I will try to right that damage. But again, I don't know how that apology is supposed to work. And as you mentioned, I suspect that no matter what apologies you give, it won't be enough. It's not been enough because the political forces opposing my father. Let us remember, his government fell. They won. So that side of the political aisle has been dominant for the last since '86. So I'm not sure what it is that they, I guess, a pound of flesh. But how can we respond? How can we respond to something like that? We will not listen to reason, or will not actually look at the facts of the matter. Again, stay with general accusations as opposed to specific instances of wrongdoing. Then we can start talking about an apology. If specific instances of wrongdoing that I committed, that I can apologize for. I cannot apologize for what other people have done. I can apologize for what I have done.
So you cannot apologize. To be clear on this, Senator, you cannot apologize for what happened during the reign of your father, because there is already an act, the Republic Act 10368, which is really an act providing for reparation and recognition of victims of human rights violations. So you cannot apologize for what happened during your father's 20-year rule, wherein there is a law that legitimizes human rights violations. Go ahead, sir.
Let's turn it around. I can only apologize for what I have done, and that seems to make for me that makes perfect sense. You cannot apologize for what somebody else has done. It's not my doing, and an apology will be meaningless anyway. So the only kind of apology that's going to cut any ice is an apology from me for what I have done.
I need to move on, sir. Unifying president was part of a phrase you used yesterday and the other day. Ano po? Let's be clear on this, sir. When you say unifying president, what exactly do you mean? Because I did hear a part of your speech yesterday na sinasabi, unify the country in this fight against the pandemic, unify this country so that we can open the economy. What do you mean by unifying president, sir?
Well, right now we are not moving. We are not moving as one country, because there's so much politics. Despite the fact that we are faced with a pandemic, the political forces are still beginning to come into play in the actual function of government, and that is not unifying. That is polarizing, like what politics necessarily is. And I think that we have to think beyond that, because if we cannot tackle this COVID if we do not help each other, I think the government has to be moving, doing the things that government can do. The private sector is also trying very hard to do their bit. Each individual has to do their bit. Everybody has to wear their mask, has to try and stay healthy, try and stay safe. All of these things have to, every single person, every single citizen, we need them to be part of the solution, especially when it comes to COVID. But when you say that we are trying to open again, we are trying to reopen and try to revitalize the economy. The first part of revitalizing the economy will be to defeat COVID, to be vaccinated, to have a large segment of our populations achieve that herd immunity that we've been hearing about for over a year. And so that is part and parcel of the same thing. You cannot start your economic recovery until you have somehow managed, and we'll use the word now manage because it's not going to go away, but we will learn to manage it like other countries already have done. And that's the level of joint effort that we want to achieve. Sa ngayon, I guess the fact that we are also in the start of the political cycle, that may have a lot to do with it. But the unity that we haven't seen, it's the sense of nationhood that we seem to have lost, that we should all be working for the Philippines. We should all be working for yung ating mga kapwa Pilipino. Sa ngayon, hindi ganun eh. Ang trabaho ngayon para sa partido, ang trabaho ngayon para sa individual, para sa ambisyon ng ganito, para yung mga lumalabas, yung mga nagte-take advantage, nag-hoard para kumita. Yun ang mga people are working at cross purposes. And that is what we want. We want to synchronize our efforts so that mas malaki ang magagawa natin, mas marami ang magagawa natin, mas mabilis ang ating pag-ahon dito sa krisis na ito.